So my first dream was, January 2019, about the New Year's, and then just confirmation personally that that I was okay. I didn't have to rededicate my life, that sort of thing. Um, so I've been watching people's dreams on YouTube about the rapture and this sort of thing, and a lot of them are, I was standing out in the field and I was floating up, or standing out somewhere and I started floating up, and this sort of thing. And I wasn't, and those are all interesting and fascinating, but I wasn't really concerned about the process of the rapture. I don't really care how it happens. I'm just ready for it to happen. So I didn't ask. I wanted to have a dream. God, tell me, what's coming. I want to know tell me, give me a dream. But instead of asking God, when is it coming? I want to know when. I chickened out and I said, what's coming? What's next? What's coming next? So I went to sleep that night, and most people think that it's, a lot of people probably think that just because you ask for a dream and then you get one that night, that somehow it's not true, that God doesn't do that, But God is faithful, and I totally believe that if I ask God for something, He's going to tell me. So these past few months, I have been kind of struggling with understanding what's coming next, what's going on, what are we supposed to get ready for, this sort of thing. So, but I asked Him, when is it coming? What's coming? And I got a dream. In the dream, I was walking with a person that I know in real life. And I had a wedding dress on. And I know that sounds so cliche, but it was a wedding dress. And I had this kind of like a shawl or a cardigan or something like that. But it was black, lacy, and it was just, you know how it is in dreams. It's just shiny, glittery something, and it was black, lacy, and it was kind of like it covered my shoulders, but it went all the way down the back of the dress. So it was real formal and dressy and that sort of thing. But I'm walking with this person. Now, I'm going to be careful with the names. Just I don't want to give the whole name out. But anyway, his first name is Herman, and Herman means army man or soldier. And his last name means, I'm not going to tell you his last name, but his last name means one who makes candles or sells candles. But I'm walking with him, and he's so upright and stoic. And he's very tall in real life. He's like 6'2", 6'3", something like that. And he's upright and he's stoic, and he's just walking with me. Now, in real life, this man, he's kind of bent over because he's always working, He's just really, really great man of God, just loves children and people and helping people and that sort of thing. So he's just got kind of a arched back a little bit, And you never really see his full stature because he's always kind of like that. But he's kind of a jovial man too. He can be serious and but he's a real fun kind of guy. And so in the dream, he was just so straight up and stoic. It was just so different. So that to me definitely indicated that his name, was telling me something. And he was an angel. He was a soldier, So I'm in my wedding dress, and we're walking. He's escorting me. He's walking me to a restaurant, and it's kind of like this open front kind of restaurant. It's got two humongous entryways, and down the middle is like a bar or something like that. And we're walking into the restaurant, and this person comes up to greet me, and it's my mother-in-law, Gwen. And in my first dream, if you remember the New Year's dream, she represents the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit greets me, and she's wearing this dress, and it's like all these different colors, just really pretty colors. It wasn't like a overly, dressy dress, but it was just all these colors. And when I woke up, I thought that was interesting. But So she greets me, and I don't hear what she's saying. She's just greeting me. She's like, hey, and then all of a sudden, my son, who is really tall, and he's 12 years old, he pops around my shoulder, and he's wearing his sport shirt, sleeveless cut-off short sport shirt and sport shorts, which he wears all the time. He would wear it to church Sunday morning if I let him, but he just wears that all the time. And he's wearing that. He's 12 years old, or he's in his current age, and he pops around my shoulder and he says, maybe I should have worn something different, and I just thought it was so funny in the dream. Okay, so the confirmation in here is something that I didn't know, is part of the wedding feast. Now, my mother-in-law and I have been talking about the wedding feast of the Lamb, and the 10 brides, the 5 wise, and the 5 foolish, and that sort of thing. Things that are in the Bible that you can read for yourself. But what I didn't know about the Jewish traditional wedding ceremony is, in Western marriage, the ceremony, the bride and groom don't see each other until they meet at the altar, and then they don't separate again for the entire, ceremony. But in Jewish weddings, first, they're betrothed. I don't know if they do that anymore, but they are betrothed, and then they wait a year. But the day of the ceremony, they meet and sign some papers or something. I don't know what they do, make it official, and then they separate again. And then the groom is escorted to what's called chuppah, I think, or shuppa, Chuppa, and he waits there for the bride to come. And in current day, anyone that they feel is worthy or whatever can escort them to the chuppah. But then the bride is escorted later, and she circles 3 times around him. All other kind of little things, but I didn't know that. So, and then underneath the tent is where everything happens, the dinner, the dancing, all that kind of stuff. So an angel was escorting me to dinner, and the Holy Spirit greeted me. Okay. And the timing, I asked God, what's coming next? When is it coming? And, my son pops in the dream, and he's wearing his little sport outfit that he wears all the time right now. And he pops in and says, maybe I should have worn something different. So it's very soon. And I was comfortable with that, and I'm okay with that. But listening to everyone's dreams here lately, just there's a little bit of confusion about the timing. We know it's coming, things are coming, and all this kind of stuff. But I know it's coming soon. So something very interesting that I learned too. Sometime last year, my mother-in-law told me that she had heard a sermon about the Jewish months of the year and all their holidays and feasts and that sort of thing. And she had mentioned something to me, and I did a little research on it. It was really cool. So this time right now, the end of September to October, is in pre-Babylonian calendar is called Ethanim. Okay, Ethanim, Ethanim. Okay. After Babylon, they have different names, which I think this time is called Nisan, but it's the new year. Okay. So my first dream that I had was at the new year, and Jesus was moving into his new house any day now. Okay. So now here we are at the new year, and I asked God for what's coming next and what isn't coming, and my son is there. My son's name, I didn't know this until very recently, how crazy this is. Okay, my son's name is Ethan, and he was born in the month of Ethanim, the day after, on October 11th. So he's basically after the Feast of Trumpets or something, Feast of Tabernacles, I don't know, whatever's on the 10th. I forgot. I know I wrote it down somewhere, but I have 3 different notebooks, and I should, probably collect all that into one thing. I've just been very disorganized. But my son Ethan was born in the month of Ethanim, and the most high holy month, high holy days. And God gave me a dream, that he was his current age. So that's pretty interesting. So going back to my first dream, the New Year's thing is even more interesting, because at first, I was looking at the religious calendar, and I thought it was in March. The New Year's was in March, and I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. Nothing ever happened, during that time. But the civil calendar, the New Year is now. So that's interesting. That's my my other dream, and I have another one coming. So we got the New Year's dream. We've got the beach dream, and then the rededication dream, and now a time frame dream. So I'm gonna try to get all this done. It's a lot of work. I should have been recording these and sharing these, and that's been my fault. So here we are. Got some work to do.